Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome 2024. Little change up. We're going to get back to a lot of the product reviews that we used to do back in 2022. We kind of got away from that in 2023. We want to get back to that, especially for a lot of partners and a lot of people that are really supporting the community and those brands and product reviews. So I haven't done one in a long time. I think the last product review was probably Fitzgerald rods. This one, we're going to talk about something that I have found in the last 6 months. How it's probably one of the most underrated gear aspects of anyone, whether you're kayak fishing or whether you are wade fishing, especially if you are wade fishing or you're bank fishing. I can tell you that right now. That there's probably, other than your fishing rod and gear and all your baits and all that good mess, there's probably one gear item that is the most important, okay, and that is going to be your boots, okay? That is going to be what you are going to be wearing on your feet the entire time that you're out there, whether you're in the creek, whether you're in the river, whether you're wade fishing, you're bank fishing, or whatever. You guys know I've been a proponent of KalKal deck boots, which are perfect when you're on the boat, right? When you're out on the boat or you're going to, you know, when I'm going to Ocean City or I'm going to Virginia Beach or whatever, the deck boots, they're just casual boots for you, but are also waterproof and all that. But when you're going to talk about getting into our river systems and you're going to be on rocks, especially for me, like in the Upper Potomac or the Monocacy or the Shenandoah, you want a different kind of boot, okay? And that's what KalKal offers you. They offer you the ability for you to find that right range and style of boots that are going to be productive for you, as well as provide you the support you need, the balance you need, the breathability, the flexibility. All of these things come into play to where when you get home after you've been out. And for me, I'm going to be honest with you guys, maybe a lot of people who watch this channel aren't aware of the fact that my family has vineyards in Virginia, and these boots are absolutely the most comfortable farm boot I've ever worn. Normally, you know, depending on you're outside, a couple of guys, you know, from, you know, our kayak bass fishing series come down and help pick grapes and stuff, and it is amazing how one of the things that you talk about when you're outside and you're in the elements is usually it's people's feet, you know, people's feet, right? This actually solves that problem. It solves that for not only in the vineyard or on the farm, but also solves it out on the river when you're dealing with rocky terrain. So what are the aspects of any kind of boot that you want to think about other than flexibility, breathability is probably, you know, you want it to be stable and slip resistant, right? If you're out on those, you guys know this, if you're out on that river and it's got that green on the rock, that's slippery stuff, right? So if you're in like Crocs or those people who like fish in Crocs in kayaks, I've never understood that, okay? Those are the guys who end up freaking face planting themselves out on the river more times than not. Almost, I always say when someone tells me somebody took a spill, took a dump, you know, in the river, I was like, were they wearing Crocs? Okay, that's what happened. There's a form and function for Crocs, don't get me wrong, but it's not in the river, okay? And it's not out there, you know, in a kayak or wade fishing. And most of the time, people will gravitate to that because it's like the water, you know, the water comes out and comes through and goes around. Well, with these boots, you don't have to worry about that because they are 100% waterproof, right? I opted for the mid-calf, okay? You can do the full to the knee, actually the lower variety, but I opted for the mid-calf, okay? Which has got this neoprene that's real popular now and like all different kind of stuff. Hunting boots, obviously this is perfect for that. This is waterproof. But the stability comes in the rubber on the bottom, okay? Now, most of you guys are following the channel. Most people have asked me that have sent me messages about stuff before when they've seen me out wade fishing and all that on the Upper Potomac. The boot that I wore previously is a well-known brand, okay? It's the well-known brand boot, okay? But the difference between these two boots, okay, is look at the size of this boot, okay, versus this boot. This boot is twice as heavy as this boot, okay? So you're pulling this, plus add water, okay? Because it's going to get wet, okay? It's waterproof, but it's going to get wet, right? The sole on this is very, very heavy. The other aspect of this, why I switched, is you can see this is what you're looking at in terms of your resistance, okay? Whether it be slip resistant, abrasion, whatever, okay? Look at the pattern, okay? And then look at the pattern of this. Look at the difference in the route, okay? This is why this boot is incredible out on the rocks, okay? It also, as opposed to the other boots, because of its flexibility, it gives you a little bit more movement out on those rocks, okay? Especially if you're wade fishing. You know the way it's going to be in your river when it's full of rocks in the summertime, right? And whether or not you're on the bank, whether or not you're going through that, or you could just be putting your kayak in off the riverbank, and you're in the mud, okay? And you've got that higher leg, mid-calf size. And so this is probably one of my most important, things is, being out there and being confident in your steps, okay? And that's one thing KalKal was about, as you could see it. Their motto is every step is trustworthy, and that's true. Like when you're out there, is you want to make sure that when you're going from rock to rock, or you're getting out of your kayak in the middle of the river, you beached it in the middle of the river, and you want to go fishing from the rock line or the ledge line, that you're not going to slip, okay? That you've got confidence in your gear, okay? And that's probably the biggest thing that I have found thus far. And it doesn't. The deck boots are exactly the same in terms of their slip resistance and being comfortable. But these are some of the most comfortable boots you're ever going to wear. Okay, but not only that is they've got all the other elements that you need when you're out on the water. I was like, and that's the number one thing, is it form, function, again, slip resistance, being waterproof, easily cleaned if you're out in the mud, whether in the yard. I could tell you. I was out with these in the snow, past 2 snowstorms that rolled through the DMV and in Virginia, and they're every bit as solid and slip in the ice resistant in terms of traction and all of that stuff. So it's one of those things you want to take a look at. This model, in case anyone was wondering, is the SKU KalK 019. So KALK 019 is the SKU. It is the mid-calf waterproof, okay, boot. This also comes in the full to the knee as well for those people who prefer that. I think this one is a lot more form and function with waders and things like that for wade fishing and just in the kayak, because it's lightweight, getting in and out of the kayak, as opposed to those heavier boots that are out on the market. And one of the other unique things about this boot that I absolutely love, and I know it's simple, but sometimes form and simplicity are incredible, is it's got its kick, okay? It's got the loop up here, okay? But one thing about these boots is they easily slip off very easily in terms of when you want to take them off, okay? But it's got the loop, but it also has the kick, what I call a kickstand, okay? Which a lot of boots don't have, and that's where you can put your other boot on there and flop it off. If, for example, if you're wearing multiple pairs of socks, it's cold out, maybe you're in the snow, and you could it'll just kick right off. And a lot of boots don't have that. A lot of boots are just flat side, and you're struggling to get the boot off. Don't have to worry about this with the KalKal boots, okay? So that's just my review here. You obviously can go to KalKal Online, kalkal-online.com, and would be the primary site where you can look at all the boots and you want to check out. And we'll be sure to post up any deals that are happening. I think right now they're 30% off till the end of January. But just check that out. And shipping and stuff relative, when I order, they come pretty darn quick. It's just kind of amazing given the fact, even after Thanksgiving and the holiday season, with the way shipping can be, right, during the holiday time. Shipping comes pretty quick. So their fulfillment in terms of their company and their promise for that is pretty outstanding. But I would just say, check out the site, check out the boots. If you have any questions about the deck boots or this model, I can give you my take. Really, any additional questions you got? Like I said, hunting, out in the farm, snow, again, out in the river. These are perfect, lightweight, but durable, and again, slip resistant. Okay, quality products plus the breathability that you bring up top. Really makes it a solid boot that you should consider. And you know what? Let's face it. You never really realize that your gear, especially when it comes to boots, are inferior until it happens to you, right? When you've got something happens, and you've got to roll through the mud or the trail or hike from the riverbank all the way to the parking lot because something's gone wrong, and you're going back and forth. And that's usually when you find out that what you're wearing on your feet is an inferior product. So you want to make sure that you investigate these things the same way you would investigate any other product when you're out fishing, whether it be a reel, your rod, your bait selection, the kayak that you buy. Hold everything to the same standard. Your wade gear. There's a lot of poorly sewn wading, cheap stuff that you can get online that at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. They're not going to last very, very long. These are going to last for a long time. And so that's why I think they stand by what they promise and they deliver what they promise. And that's why I think it's a boot that you should consider in 2024.